if you can have this ass in your face every day, or you can make a baby for society, what would you choose? Doesn't Jay look so happy to be here? What's up, guys, and welcome to a new video. Today we are up in the beautiful Mount Charleston, which has a very different biome from the desertous Las Vegas. It is about 1 hour, I think, north, I don't know, it seems like north, from Las Vegas, and you get beautiful greenery, trees, and a lot thinner air because we're up at 6,000 to 8,000 feet of elevation. Today we're going to be doing the sawmill hike, I think. I didn't download the map before we got here, so I have no idea where we're going. We're just going to follow the signs and see if we can have some fun out here, because I needed to get away from the 110 plus degree weather down in Vegas and up here to this nice 80. It's so much nicer up here, guys. By the way, this is my first hiking video, or my first video at all on the channel that you might see, not sure, with my new Canon EOS R5. And all that means to you guys is it's in 4K, so enjoy. Let's go. So it looks like the sawmill area is mostly just equestrian trails, aka horse trails, but we're not allowed to take the Jeep. So sad. You can see behind me, right there, that is Mount Charleston. It's fucking gorgeous. It looks picturesque, like a fucking painting. And oh my god, yes, it is thinner air up here. At first I was like, oh, we're doing good. And then as I started walking, I'm like, I'm on flat ground. And I have to breathe through my mouth, so good times up in the mountain. When you go from like 2K elevation to fucking 8K in an hour. Since we don't actually have the map downloaded, we have no idea which way to go, so we're just recording which way we do go. And then I realized that, look, it says green and blue. And here we have a yellow trail, and then that way would be the blue trail. So I'm just gonna assume that yellow is green, like Jay always thinks. Let's check out the green. It looks like more fun. I've been missing something for a while, and as I've been walking, I've been suspecting that I somehow put it in my shoe and forgot to take it out based on the way it was feeling while I was walking, and these are the extra things that you put in the back of the shoe to make sure you don't get any kind of blisters, and I've just been walking on top of them, so I guess they've kind of been doing their job while I'm ruining them. Ugh. We are back at the picnic area, and Jay's car is like right over there. This was kind of a non-remarkable trail. I wanted to do the upper and lower Briscombe or whatever it's called, but Jay's car was like giving us trouble, so we just decided to park here and then walk around. Basically, it was really pretty. You'll see that, and hopefully after this we'll get some B-roll. I'll have enough room on my card. That's also a problem right now. I have a smaller card than I will have soon. Jay, you're blocking my titties.
I don't know how to sit.
Oh my god. But anyway, I'll have a bigger card soon, so more awesome views later. But to make this vlog even a vlog, I decided we would do one of those things where Jay and I talk about a topic. So the thing that I've been holding on to that I wanted to talk to you about in Valley of Fire is I had an epiphany at one point that was like, you know who the first misogynists were?
Christians?
Christians. I think feminists are. I mean, not like chronologically the first, but like the most hardcore misogynists. And I think they're projecting because this bee is giving me shit. Do you guys see this bee? I don't know. Let me give you the mindset because I think that I have a similar mindset to those feminists that I would call misogynists. Women are trying really hard to do the exact same things as men and not just have the same rights, but like actually do the exact same stuff. They're like, we're strong, we're tough, etc., right?
Okay.
And I think they don't value feminine traits. Because I keep saying, yeah, women have their place, they raise a family, it's really important for us to further our species, oh my god, that's so amazing. But I personally do not value that in the slightest, like personally. But I understand that it's important for our race and that some women find fulfillment in it. And I think feminists literally want to clone themselves after men because they also don't value feminine characteristics because they're misogynists. Because they think if you are a woman in the house just doing woman things, then you are less than. I think that's what they think. And that's why they want to so much be a carbon copy of men. What say you?
Okay, they think it's lesser to stay in the kitchen because they don't get to get out of the kitchen.
But
men get to do whatever they want. They just don't want to.
Men historically do not get to wear high heels and lay around the house and be house husbands.
Okay,
women will talk shit about that.
But
and
feminists,
other men as well.
Feminists do preach for men being allowed to cry and stuff like that. So they do cover men getting to do the woman stuff. It's just that typically men didn't care to.
Okay, I'm not talking about like the suffragettes and like first wave feminism. I'm talking about now where they literally want to be more like men.
But you said the first misogynist people were feminists. You're telling
I meant
me
the most hardcore, like the mindset.
The biggest misogynists are feminists.
Today's feminists, yeah. I realize this because I always have to tell myself, yeah, that's valuable. You know, raising a family, being a nurturer, staying at home, being squishy, like all that stuff is valuable, but I don't value that at all, personally.
But today's feminists also preach for men being allowed to cry, even more than first wave feminists. So how does that change?
Okay, but they say it's because of the patriarchy or whatever. I feel like this is kind of off topic.
Well, you're saying they're misogynists because they want to...
Because deep down, they don't value feminine traits, so what they want to do is be a career woman. Like, they're all career women.
But it's not that they don't value it, they just don't need to address the things they're allowed to do. It looks like they're putting more value on the things that they're not allowed to do, but that's only because they're pushing to be able to do those things. They don't need to push to be able to...
But they're already able to. So why is everyone having a career saying no to marriage?
Well, no, like, they're able to by law, but the argument is that they are constantly discouraged to.
They're discouraged from going to college and all that stuff?
Yeah, everything. Like, they're raised to be feminine. They're raised to not be astronauts, stuff like that. Like, from being a baby, from, like, in every aspect of... You ask me any year, I'll tell you who's telling them not to do this stuff. It's not they're not allowed to, it's just that they're discouraged to.
But who's telling them not to now? The only people who are telling them not to is, like, traditional conservatives who are just saying you'll be unhappy.
Well, I mean, it's possible that like now they're more encouraged to than men because of the feminists, but then we're giving value to today's feminists by saying that, if that's true.
They all have careers and shit. So I really feel like they will, a person with that kind of mindset will just do whatever they're told not to do or whatever is different. It's like they're contrarians or something. Because why wouldn't there be more women who are raising families and shit and who are super feminist, but they're like, of course I'm gonna do the feminine things because that's what I should do.
You're saying they're contrarians like it's a bad thing, but I think being a contrarian is how you fix issues. It's human nature to be a contrarian, and whenever someone's oppressed, the only way to fix it is by being contrarian, right? Like, so you're saying it negatively, but I think it's a positive
Why
thing.
Be a contrarian against just what people's opinions are? They have all the rights.
Well, because like you have to first believe that people's opinions can either encourage or discourage a person from doing something their whole life. So if too many opinions are pointed at a woman to not do something, that is almost as strong as having a law that doesn't allow that girl to do it, right? In some cases stronger. If a whole society is constantly somehow signaling to a girl that she can't be a rocket scientist, that's actually worse than like having a law that discourages it, I guess. I don't know.
So you're saying they want to change society so that half of the world thinks you should do something and half of the world thinks you should do the other thing, so that no one's pushed or pulled in any direction and has to push against.
I don't know that we should do. I'm not saying that we should do this.
No, I'm saying you think that's what they want.
They think we should do that, yes. I don't know that I agree with that.
But I'm pretty sure that they like people who overwhelmingly say that they should never marry and stuff. Their allies actually hate on women who are...
Well, they're doing the contrarian thing, which if it goes too far in that direction, then we'll have new feminists fighting against that or whatever, or new whatever, right? Egalitarians. When something is wrong, people will push extremely in the opposite direction. You can then make the argument that if it goes all the way to that extreme, that it'll be just as bad, but it's unlikely that it'll ever go all the way in the opposite extreme, right? So it's okay to be pushing in that direction,
Okay,
because
so
it's closer to the middle.
So you think that I am actually just kind of a misogynist and that they actually are fighting the good fight, maybe?
I think misogynist is, like, the reason that was a difficult conversation when you first said it was because I think it would boil down to semantics. It's really hard to, like, you end up kind of having to decide where misogynist starts and ends.
Okay, when I see a feminist, I see someone who would literally say, I want to do something of value. I don't just want to be a homemaker. And that, in my opinion, is devaluing the feminine, nurturing...
Yeah, but you could say that she has that opinion because of the patriarchy, because they said you have to be a homemaker or signaled it constantly, raised
But has the
their girls that
patriarchy
way.
ever said that that's not valuable? Because
Well,
men value their
it
wives.
doesn't
it's
matter if
important.
they say it's not valuable. It's the fact that they are saying, well, you can't do this other thing.
Okay.
Because they weren't able to vote, they weren't able to participate in things that are deemed a little more important in other ways. Or maybe they're equally important, but as soon as you say you're not allowed to do it, it becomes more important. Because men are allowed to go cook if they want, right? So it cannot be more important. But as soon as you say, I do this, you do this, but one of us is not allowed to do one of them, well, that one becomes more
I
important.
don't think men back in the day were allowed to be homemakers. I don't think...
But, well, they either didn't care to, so they didn't even find out if they were allowed to.
Yeah, but
they were never not allowed to by law.
They didn't care to because the better option is to be the powerful person rather than the person who's just furthering the species.
Right. So it is more important to do that then.
Yeah, so I do think that the feminine nurturing shit is bullshit and garbage.
Okay.
I would much rather be an expendable soldier than a mother. The
Okay,
problem
wait,
is
why are you
men are
saying-
expendable and women are need to be protected because they're furthering the species. But why do women feel like the furthering of the species feminine side is less important than the other side?
Well,
and
why do you feel like it?
Because I'm either also kind of a misogynist or something. Like, I think it's important. I just don't value it. Obviously, because I don't care if our species continues. I don't want to have kids myself.
I mean, it's obviously, like, in a vacuum, more valuable. It is the most valuable thing.
Yeah, exactly. And feminists don't go like, what we need to do is be able to vote. Okay, we voted, now let's get back to doing that thing that, makes us not die out.
Okay, but that's because to us currently it is not too valuable because we are overpopulated.
Okay, so do you think overall our society is going to trend toward feminine characteristics literally being obsolete?
No, because we always have to, procreate. Just
Yeah, but we don't have to. No. Like, there's other shit to do and people are just choosing not to. And if our
become
species
immortal?
die out... No, if our species dies out, who cares?
well, that's all we should care about. That's like literally the only thing you could say is our meaning, like as a race.
But
is
if everyone adopts the nihilistic meanings that I have in my life, we can just all die out, but die out happily individually.
But
as
even a pure
individualists.
nihilist would make sure to do one thing, and that is to procreate.
No.
Yes.
No. That is meaningless. So why go through the strife of that?
Well, okay, are you talking about a depressed nihilist or a nihilist who's
No.
happy to be alive?
I am happy to be alive, and if I was the last
If
person
you're
on
happy
Earth, I
to-
would not fuck for babies. Ever.
If you could, why would you not create more of you? You're just a selfish nihilist as opposed to a selfless one.
Yeah. Not
Okay, a
nobody's
selfless nihilist would
nobody's
make other
selfless.
nihilists.
Nobody's selfless if they're living just to live day by day and make their own, like, happiness in their own
But if they're
reason
making
to
their
live.
own happiness, they should understand that others existing who can make their own happiness as well is a net positive, so they should make more babies.
What does it matter to me if within my lifetime I don't make a person so that later
Well,
the people
in the
don't die out?
current on the world, it doesn't, because you making another baby doesn't help anyone. But I'm saying in a situation where
But
you
that's-
making a baby is the determinant of if our race goes on or not.
But that's the mindset people are going to have until it's too late. Because you can't see the bigger picture, like, hundreds of years down the line where this is going to curb our birth rates and make us obsolete and gone.
Okay, so you're saying nihilism is the end
Yeah, probably, and I don't
to
care.
our race? Okay, then, I mean, I feel like there's forms of nihilism, and you're talking about a purely selfish form of nihilism. I think you can be a nihilist who's selfless and can logic himself into what are net positives and what aren't.
There definitely can be people who make their meaning in life helping other people, but I don't think the majority of people will do that because the fulfillment in that is pretty shallow. It just makes you feel good, but doesn't actually further your agenda. I can't believe you think that people would be that inherently selfless to be like, okay, we're all all living our own path and it doesn't actually matter what happens after I'm dead. But hey, let's make a kid and ruin our own lives just so we like further a generation that we won't be around for.
No, let's say that you don't want to ruin your life, but society expects you to make a baby. So you just make a baby for the society and then you go on living your own life. You don't really have to do it. You just fucking come in a girl or whatever.
Okay, maybe you have to come in a girl.
Okay, or as a girl, like, you could donate your eggs, or, like, I guess at worst, sacrifice 9 months of your life.
I would donate my eggs because that shit
Like,
gives
yes,
you
it's...
money.
What the I guess it's harder for a girl, yeah, but I feel like that's adding a variable that...
So if you can have this ass in your face every day, or you can make a baby for society, what would you choose? Come on.
Okay, so if someone told me, like, you have, like, 5 years left to live, and, like, I feel like at some point, like, after enjoying myself for, like, a year, I'd be like, okay, what, like, is there any meaning to my life? And I'd be like, no, I'm a nihilist, or whatever, so there isn't, but, like, I could either choose to make a baby or not make a baby. And let's say that I have to sacrifice 9 months of that because girls would. I think I would choose to.
You've always been so against this, like, you agree with me on the furthering shit after I'm dead and, like, having a legacy thing, how stupid that is.
I think it's stupid to devote your entire life to that, yes.
But you would do it if it's only 9 months
no,
of the
I would
5 years you
devote
have
a
left.
small percentage of my life to it. If it, like, what you're doing here is, like, changing the benefit-reward ratio. I'm arguing that you should not sacrifice your entire life to barely help society.
So
but you give me an example where you sacrifice 1% of your life to 100% help society. Like, to literally make the difference between society existing or not.
You can just knock bitches up and leave then. If
Yeah,
you
as
don't
a guy, it's easier, yes. But I'm saying, let's say that
why
I have to
are you not
sacrifice
doing that then? It's not a sacrifice to you,
because
really.
it's not helping the world to make more babies right now. It's this helping.
I mean, in like 100 years, it will start to be a decline.
Yes.
We are declining.
Yeah, of course I'd be knocking bitches up and paying alimony for them if that, like, wasn't a big deal to my wallet.
Child support.
And, yeah, whatever. If that wasn't a big deal to my wallet and it was helping society. Yeah, I would do that. Yeah. I would help society if it doesn't detriment me too much.
Why do you care to help society? Just because it makes you feel good or something? Like, it makes you feel that good?
Okay, because...
It's so pointless.
Okay, so since I'm a nihilist and there's no meaning, I like to have a feeling of there being a meaning when I do things that I know can only be good, right? Like this can't be bad unless I hate my race. So, like, why not whenever I can do things that are only good, like, they can only be good, and, like, no one could convince me this is bad if it, like, let's say that we needed babies.
It's bad maybe to you.
Yeah, it's only bad to my enjoyment. And I'm saying if it doesn't take away from too much of me enjoying my life, so, like, 9 months I feel like is not that big a deal. Sure, if I have 9 months to live and I have to spend all of it doing this, that would suck. Maybe I would not, maybe I'd be selfish.
Maybe? I would off myself right then so I didn't have to spend those 9 months.
I mean, that would be literally like asking someone to kill themselves to save the human race, and most people would say yes.
That's insane. Those people are stupid.
What is that? Wait, is that? Oh, it's a lizard.
Oh, I'm gonna catch it. Come here, we're gonna see this fat lizard. I don't see him anymore. Oh, there he is. Oh, I didn't catch him.
So what, are we even on topic?
No, we are not on topic anymore.
Okay, are we done?
All right, conclusion.
Conclusion is that you should do good things if they're not too hard.
Because
that's how
apparently
you're a good human being.
I'm not. I don't get the point in
like,
that
if
at
you
all.
do too much good, you become like an unbearably annoying and depressed human being that no one wants to be around.
But by what
and you're still not helping society too much.
By what metric should you be doing that if it doesn't give you any personal fulfillment?
No, it does give you personal. If it doesn't give you, sure, you're a different form of nihilist, is what I'm saying. It doesn't give you fulfillment to do this. It gives me fulfillment to do this. I would sacrifice 9 months to have that fulfillment.
Damn, that's
Unless
cool.
it's my only 9 months that I have left. Yeah, that's why I said 5 years. If I have 5 years left and I spend a fifth of it.
Like, no, I'm the opposite. Like, if someone said do this thing for 9 months, I'd be like, I have my whole life ahead of me, so sure. But if I have 5 years left, I'm like, I'm spending every second of that as a fucking hedonistic piece of shit.
This is just different ways to argue about how big of a detriment it is to your life. All that matters is how you view it. If it's a small detriment, but it gives you enough fulfillment to trump the detriment, then you do it. So it just depends on the person. And I feel like that... What the fuck?
There's a fly.
I feel like that differentiates like a selfish nihilist from a selfless nihilist. I think a selfless nihilist would get enough fulfillment from helping society if it doesn't detriment him too much. That's all I'm saying.
But why do you get fulfillment from something you don't even get to see the fruits of? Like, you just are helping something later that doesn't matter because you're dead.
Because there's no meaning to life, but this is something.
Why do you want a meaning to life? Oh my, okay, we're done.
I mean, I'm not saying you want a meaning. Every nihilist wants a meaning to life. They just understand there isn't one. Then you're different. I think every nihilist would rather they weren't a nihilist. They just have discovered, like, they're logically deduced that there's no meaning, and they were probably sad for a bit, and then they got over it.
I was never sad. I was like, this is freeing. This is amazing. I like this.
Okay, then you're different, I think.
There's
than most nihilists.
It's so freeing because there's no restrictions put upon you by anyone telling you how you have to live your life at all anymore. You can just do whatever you want, and if anyone shames you for that, who gives a shit?
But all this is the same with my form of nihilism or whatever.
No, I'm talking about people being sad once they realize it for a little bit. Like, why would you ever be sad? That should just be freeing.
It's not. I mean, it's freeing. There's a freeing aspect, but there's also like there's nothing else.
My meaning isn't something I didn't want to do anyway. Like, what the fuck?
Well, no. I think if you discover that there's a meaning to your existence, you'd want to do it, even if it's hard.
I mean, I would only want to do it if it's personally fulfilling.
I think it's on average human nature, or like for most people, to do something that they feel like is their meaning. If they are convinced it's their meaning, they'll want to do it, even if it's really hard.
I'd want to do something if it's really hard, if I thought it was meaningful to me.
Right, and
I don't know why people seek meaning in something higher than themselves or higher than just what they think they want to do.
I just feel like you're so grounded in this world that you can't imagine a world where you were like designed for a purpose. So you don't know how you would feel.
All of these like video games and movies that I watch where people like have a purpose and they're really strongly driven, like Yuna in Final Fantasy X, that's the strongest driven purpose, gonna kill herself for it type of shit. At any point, if I wanted to deviate from that path and fuck Titus and just go off with him, I would do that because there's nothing telling me that that's important.
But you only think that because you've never experienced this thing, like being built for a purpose. You just don't know what that's like.
I'm not saying
that I know what it's like, but I feel like I do know a little better than you or something, because I was deluded into thinking there was a meaning to me while I was little.
What was your meaning? You had to go what?
Well, I do
Christian things.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in a Christian, country and stuff, but some of it was Christian, some of it was shit I made up in my own head. I don't know, like in my own head.
That's weird. All right, sexy B-roll if we have room on the camera.
Of me?
Yeah, of you.